So Ashwapati was facing a problem. He stood there on a pedestal of prayer, absolutely calm, with great expectation that he would get some response from the Divine Mother, but there was none. And he was wondering what could have been the cause of her not responding to his prayer. In other words, if the prayer is coming from a defective source, so to say, from a defective aspirant, somebody who is not fully ready, then that prayer may not be granted. You may go to the mother and pray, give me this, give me that, she may not grant it. If the required quality which is necessary for her force to work, if it is absent, then she may not grant the prayer boon at all, you see. So that is the condition in which Ashwapati is standing. In fact, it's a very great psychological statement. Why my prayer is not granted? We question God or whatever you want to call him. But the greater wisdom is that we have not really prepared ourselves fully to hold the power or the boon that will be coming to us. We are not prepared fully. And if it is not fully prepared, if we are not fully prepared and if the boon is granted, it may lead to undesirable consequences. So there is a kind of a wisdom that the prayer is not granted. Yeah. So the obligation is on us. The obligation is on us. Why the prayer is not granted? So Ashwapati sets himself in the task of finding out what could be the cause in him that is preventing the answer from the Supreme Mother, of whom she would call her. Why is she not answering? And then every nook and corner of his being, he explores. Is it here? Is it here? Is it here? Something lacking, something resisting, something opposing, something hostile, which is not allowing it to come. In other words, not granting the boon prayer is itself a kind of a help to you. Go and search. Go and do your homework. Why it is not granting? Well, last time we saw in the case of Sri Aurobindo about his accident briefly in 1938, November 1938. On the morning of the Darshan day itself, the accident took place. There was, of course, the hostile attack coming on the mother, and Sri Aurobindo wanted to protect her, and in the process, he forgot to take care of himself. He forgot to take care of himself. Forgot in the sense that he didn't realize that they would come and attack him, that they would dare attack him. Such kind of a confidence he had that they would not dare attack him. Now, if you see in the context of the developments which were taking place about that time, 1936, 38, the supermind was entering into his physical. 8 August 1938, his famous sonnet, The Light. 8 August 1938. Yeah, 38. Yeah. The light was coming in him, in his brain, in his heart, in his all those parts of the physical. It was coming. It was coming. But it was not staying on. It would come and go. It would come and go. It would come and go. Why? Again, that question. And it is in that context you see again why here, in the case of Ashtapati, the response is not coming. Why? It means that some kind of yogic sadhana had still to be done in the physical. After all, he had taken the birth in the inconscient world. He had accepted the inconscient birth. He had identified himself completely with the inconscience of his creation, and anything that might be still present in him of that inconscience would resist the coming of the greater power, of the higher power, of the transforming power, and therefore it can stop his further progress actually. So that was what was happening in the case of Ashtapati. It happened in the case of Shravan too. The accident was a direct result of his taking birth in the inconscience. He forgot, means what? He has identified himself totally with the ignorance of this world, identified himself totally, and suddenly something broke out, and then things started happening after that, you see. So the accident itself was in a way a step towards a greater, mightier progress. Something which was lying there in him had got to be removed. How does one know that? How does one identify that? You take things otherwise in a very routine manner, goes on in a laissez-faire way, so to say, and you take for granted that things will happen. But there are elements and elements. For the inconscience too is infinite. That is the line we have here. Inconscience is also infinite. The more you plumb, more you sound its depth, the more it comes out and comes out and comes out. So every bit of it has to be tackled and answered, you see. So that was the state in which Ashtapati was, and when he realized that that had to be removed, then really things started moving forward. I would say the same thing exactly in the case of Sri Aurobindo. 1938 accident, exactly the same thing. And after the accident, really the sadhana took a very, very different kind of a turn. In a way of speaking, it started going extremely fast. Extremely fast. The supermind was coming and going, coming and going. He had to stabilize it. And as a result of that, with that kind of yogic sadhana which he had put, yogic tapasya which he had done for that, those last 12 years of Sri Aurobindo after the accident are of a totally different kind than the previous of his life. Divya Jivana, golden life, divine life is what is really being there in him after that, you see. Divine life itself is there. And of course, as a part of that movement, what had happened was the physical mind started opening to experimental light and force. It was able to receive, stabilize, and remain in it. And that remained always with him after that. It never gone. Not only that, he speaks in one of his writings that the region between overmind and supermind. Overmind is the top of the lower hemisphere. Supermind is coming from above, from the upper hemisphere. Between these two, there is a kind of blankness. There is no knowledge about the things which are present there. How how supermind becomes overmind, how overmind can become supermind, those passages, those details, they are not known. So it is those details which are kind of getting worked out in that process. The transition between overmind and supermind, as far as the physical immortality is concerned, they were getting filled up, attended, and whatever necessary steps were required were getting created for that purpose. So I will say, in a way, the mind of light is the lowest stage of the supermind into the physical mind of light in the hierarchy of plane. So it is in a way even below the mental physical. See, and what was really happening was at that time then was, even though, as I said, that the region between overmind and supermind, that is unexplored, unknown, what is present, how to work out, those details are not. You say the gods of the overmind world are here, all the devas are here, supramental, transcendent, etc. are there, but the transition, the connection, the links, they are not known, they are not explored, they are kind of blank in terms of their operating possibilities. So, one of the things which Sri Aurobindo had done as a yogi at that point of time was to create a new plane between these two, between overmind and supermind, the plane of mind of light. Plane of mind of light. And that becomes a kind of a transition step from this to that. So if this transformation has to take place, then it is there that has happened. So in that sense, the accident was useful, or you can say that a divine diplomat can use even such a fall for a greater purpose of his. And that is exactly what he did. So in the case of Ashwapati also we are approaching now more or less the same stage. He sees that the Divine Mother is not responding. What's the problem with her? Why she is not going forward? The problem is not with her, the problem is with you, basically. And therefore he is attending to himself. Life in his members laid down, vast and mute, because there was no response, vast and mute. See, he is using periodically, mute, naked, unwalled, unterrified it both the immense regard of immortality. It, life. Life was able to stand the look of immortality. It needs a tremendous capacity that the look of immortality can be borne by life. Life has prepared itself to hold the look of immortality. The last moment died and all at once grew still. See, mute, moment, still. Everything has become calm. A weight that was the unseen transcendent's hand, when everything has become so still, the unseen is putting his hand on him and he is feeling the weight of that hand. The weight that was the unseen transcendent's hand laid on his limbs. You see, he says limb, not on his head, not here and there, on the physical. The Spirit's measureless seal, infinity swallowed him into shoreless trance. So, see now what has happened? That muteness, that stillness, that motionlessness, no movement at all, they had now become so powerful, they have become the trance. There is a kind of a graduality, mute, immense regard of immortality. Moment died, absolutely calm. All grew still and swallowed him into shoreless trance. So that is the new realization in him. Everything has become so calm, so in that sense, in that way, he is not really worried now. Why is he not responding? That question doesn't arise now. He becomes so still. In other words, it is only when there is such a trance that she might respond. She won't respond otherwise. Only when there is such a trance she might respond.